Hey, stop the cap, stop the cap. What's up, guys? It's Stop Capping. And yes, um, unfortunately, with the Marvel's Avengers shutting down, the game was shut down sometime in 20, I think this sometime this year. Well, I know the more content for the follow update on March 31st, 2023, the Idols of March. No more further content will be made for this game. Now, mind you, with this game got a lot of what you gonna call it. I mean, this game got cancel culture the moment the trailer, the gameplay first came out. But um, the one thing I can tell you is that you know, yes, the internet is toxic as fuck. And but in the same time you do have a lot of opinions, and there's certain standards of people playing video games today, and a lot of people are too comfortable with open world everything. And I get it, there's a lot of games that people complain that, hey, this game is repetitive. Every game you play is repetitive, every video game, okay? And whether it's a Super Mario Brother level, it's repetitive because the whole point is for you to get from point A to point B and get on that flag, get into the castle, and realize that the princess is no longer there. She's in another castle. The only difference is they put more obstacles along the way because it's leveling up the difficulty. It's the same thing with linear games. Linear games are the same way, only now we're in full 3D. The problem is a lot of people are not grateful for certain games that are made today. Like, not every game is going to be open world as much as we want it to be. Not every game is going to be linear, also. But we also get a hybrid of games that are linear and open world. Now, yes, you will have the open world aspect of the game with some linear missions. So let's for instance say like there's an open world area. You go into a certain building, and that building is only available to go inside the building during a linear mission. And then for whatever reason, after that linear mission is over, it once you try to go back into that area during in the open world, for whatever reason the building is sealed off. You can't go back into the building because the story in that building is already over. Now, mind you, yes, there's people that like to get collectibles or and all that stuff. So some games are so linear that you can never go back to the you can't do stage select or chapter select, and once you get through a certain area, it's over. And some people are okay with that, some people aren't. Fortunately, some games like Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider that was rebooted a while ago, the game is not open world per se, but you're able to explore different regions of basically different regions of mountainous terrains, and other caves and other ruins, which you can also fast travel to. So yes, you could run the entire way, use your grappling hook, use your bow and arrow to go down lines and beat up baddies all over again that respawn, or you could just fast travel from one campsite to another and just kick ass and do your thing and level up your weapons and so forth. This game is no different from that. You just basically take the Tomb Raider formula, put it in this game with the Avengers. The only difference is you're superheroes doing the same exact thing. The only difference is that yes, there's stage selects and there's missions that you need to do, and you just fight a bunch of people, do a bunch of objectives. Not every objective is great, but they're objectives nonetheless. And On top of that, with the way the game is, a lot of people were also complaining about the way that um, the characters looked. Like, oh, they didn't look like their Disney counterparts. And I'm like, guys, like, if you're a real comic book fan and you're traditionally going to the comic books stores like every Wednesday when there's a new issue out, I was like, that's how you know you're a real comic book fan. You know for damn sure there's gonna be comic books that have Hawkeye with his blonde hair, Hawkeye with his darker hair. You know, there's gonna be him wearing his traditional costume, him wearing the costume from the Ultimate Avengers. You know, basically, you gotta remember all the Marvel movies in the MCU. They're all inspired by Ultimate Avengers. I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, especially with Samuel Jackson casted as Nick Fury. Like the people who created Nick Fury in that universe specifically asked Samuel Jackson's permission and say, "Hey, can we use your image for our comic?" And he was cool with it. And then after that, look what happens. He get casted as Nick Fury. And yeah, and just like the way the game plays, like yes, a lot of characters are different. You get different DLCs. People who complain about DLCs, I'm like, just look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you've been a victim of buying DLCs over years for whatever game it is, whether it's Call of Duty, a fighting game, another action adventure game, and so far. And now we have a thing called battle passes. We have battle passes now. They're all battle passes or season passes. It goes from DLC, season pass to battle pass, and that's just the way the things are. And if you're for people who are like real comic book fans, they're not gonna care what, or people who love video games and comic books, they're not gonna care what a lot of other people say. But the problem is that even for a game that's like Forspoken, that's getting a lot of good praises, but they're getting a lot of bad critic reviews. And now you have like a lot of people online on Facebook and in other social media saying like, yeah, you know what? The critic says this game looks like complete ass. This game looks like trash. I'm like, guys, like you haven't even played the game or probably haven't even played the demo, and you guys are gonna crucify the game, especially since it's a female protagonist as black. But that's a whole other issue. You still get racism in games. People who are anti-feminist and racist in games, but regardless. And the campaign mode for the Avengers, yes, you start off. You're basically in the shoes of Kamala Khan, and she basically is trying to figure out why the Avengers got disassembled in the beginning, where you do play as the Avengers, and it'll lead up to a point of what was the fallout, and you guys basically have to investigate that with Kamala Khan, who is Miss Marvel. And yes, she has her comic accurate powers in this game, not like the Bengals in the MCU. That she's a mutant and all that junk. This is the Inhuman version, and yes, in the DLC, you do get Black Panther. They recently dropped the Bucky character, like the Jane Foster Thor. I know they have one with Hawkeye versus Maestro, which is the evil future version of Hulk, where he becomes like super intelligent and decided to destroy everything. But the game is fairly good, and what I think it is too. I think not only that it's an open world thing too, or I also think it's a game also where a lot of people got comfortable with games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I love Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Yeah, it's not the best like it's not the best. Well, it is one of the best representations of the game, but there it's not the thing where it's like the be all end all. If it doesn't play like a certain way, then we should just crucify it. And what I'm trying to say is, guys, you guys shouldn't be trying to crucify the Avengers if you haven't um, play the game or want to invest the game. Now, would I buy the game? I wouldn't buy it for full price per se, but right now I am renting it from the library for free to go through the campaign and to do this video. But I would definitely buy it if it was if there was like a discount on it. Um, I prefer to have in my opinion, I prefer to have the physical copy over the digital copy, just because, um, yes, digital copies take up more space on your hard drive, and I would prefer to have more games physical copy than using up all my free space. I like to make my videos and upload them, but that's just me. And I like what they did in terms of the costumes. Yes, they have a thing where you could go to the marketplace and check out all these costumes. Yeah, so you have to keep Bishop from the Hawkeye show costume. You got the Avengers Endgame skin. So yeah, you get all these skins and different perks here for the game if you have the currency for it. And they also got news, you got like little events, flashback month. You could probably get the skin for this too. And yeah. Continue progress. Yeah. So they have save migration, all this other junk, or your progress. So, do I think that is like the worst thing in the world? Like, no. And yeah, I guess you could get all these credits. See, I think this is like one of the big problems too is see, people are so fixed on just skins and all that stuff, or buying using your own money to get credits. It's like that's what missions, a lot of these missions that we do are for. Like I felt like a lot of the multiplayer missions should give you these credits and make it. And yes, the multiplayer, you could have multiplayer missions with other people who play this game online. And I'm just going to show you one real quick. And you guys basically um, be the judge and jury. I also like the loading screen. When you load the screen with the character, they show the different characters while you're loading during your signature poses and all that stuff. So let's go check this out real quick. Yeah, there you go. This is Miss Marvel. Oh yes, and since they're also canceling the live service or like future DLC, Spider-Man is still exclusive only to the PlayStation because obviously of the Sony Spider-Man property. So I guess if you have the Xbox, you're shit out of luck. Then again, the Xbox has been shit out of luck for a long time. All right, guys, I'm gonna do the mission that I just did before. Which one is it? It was, I think it was this one. Yeah, Pacific Northwest. Gotta do quick match. All right. Now I think what will happen if you can't get any characters from the multiplayer, they give you the AI.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD.
You're about to have a very bad day. Bye-bye. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Every member of the elite team must be defeated.
Oh, you picked the wrong ship.
Watchdog's agent is down. Another watchdog has been neutralized.
Who's up? Not you.
We go. Another enemy defeated.
Time for the big gun!
The team are no longer a threat. I've marked our next destination on your HUD.
Heads up, we got company! guys ever learn? Okay, less talking, more fighting.
I've breached AIM security network.
This fight might be fair. Oh, let's...
I've breached AIM security network.
That's all she wrote, kids. Enemy spotted.
AIM's network is equipped with a multi-point authentication system. I need access to multiple terminals. The more the better. AIM will attempt to initiate a shutdown protocol if they gain access to the terminal. You cannot let them. Beginning infiltration.
Yeah, bet that looks pretty cool.
I'm inside AIM security system. That helps, thank you. AIM is trying to remove me from their systems.
Enjoy your commemorative Iron Man bruises. You're welcome.
Beginning infiltration.
Playtime's over, kid!
The enemies have been defeated.
You're about to have a very bad day. Okay, less talky, more fighty. Bye-bye. All I do is win, win, win. They made their choices. Don't worry, enough of me to go around. Don't these guys ever learn? We got some not-so-friendlies. Fine. Here we go. Got you! Come on, pal. We're not alone.
Decent one.
Okay, think that was all of them for the time being. Now it's a party!
Oh, let's make this quick.
Hopefully that was the last of them.
Really?
That's the best you got? Nice work. Looks clear for now. We got some not-so-friendlies. Someone keeping score here? Cause I gotta be winning. Do your worst, please.
Fine. Here we go.
Surprise! Take 5!
So proud of you.
Think they all want our autograph? Oh, is it over? They've got nothing on us. Engage, y'all. Time for the big gun. That's not gonna cut it. Hard attack. Got it down. Heads up, we got company.
That's that.
Good job, Avengers. You saved our people so they can fight another day. The Resistance will surely succeed with you watching their backs.
And that pretty much gives you the rundown of how the game is played with the Avengers. If you think about it, those strike missions, they're pretty much like Destiny in multiplayer mode. You know, you just link up, you select the mission that's offline, and then, that's multiplayer. I mean, that's online, and people will randomly join you. Or for whatever reason, if no one joins you, you'll get joined by the AI of a random Avenger. So you'll have like a Hulk on your team, or Thor, or whoever you might unlock. Um, and that's a good thing. So just in case if no one wants to, if someone can't join your fire team for whatever reason, you have the AI to join your fire team. And there's little things like emotes you can, like I said, buy skins. You clearly see that every time I was using Iron Man, it reminds me of that one Iron Man game that was like supposed to come out for the VR. And I know they came out with the Iron Man video game back in the day when the Iron Man movie came out. And I knew a lot of people were up in arms and trying to crucify that game too. Yes, we know that, yes, mostly sometimes video game movies are not the best type of video games, but sometimes there's plots in those video game movies that should have been in the movies. And for if you guys have seen or played enough video games that are based on movies and superheroes, you know what I'm talking about. there's certain plots that say, hey, you know what, this could have been used in the movie, but they put it in the video game instead. I like the fan service with Thor, how he wears my name is Thor, just the similar shirt he wears in the first Thor movie. So there's a lot of MCU stuff in this game because obviously, if you guys don't know by now, a lot of stuff that is going on in the Marvel comic books is thriving off anything that's in the Marvel movies. So basically, the more successful the Marvel movies are, people at Marvel are going to do more comic books based on on that success, or they'll just try to come up with a more original um, storyline or something they like to take from the archives, and they want to like kind of like revamp or redo a storyline, kind of like Secret Wars. You know how we had the original Secret Wars, and then we had like the most recent one with like God Doom, and ironically, we're gonna get Secret Wars for after King Dynasty. So, I mean, imagine if this game was supported the way it was supposed to get supported. You guys could have had Kane. You guys could have had Kane in this game. You could have fought against King. And since a lot of people were complaining about like repetitive villains and all that stuff, you guys had the chance to get more villains and possibly more heroes. But since everyone wants to complain, you guys are not gonna get nothing. You guys get nothing. So, yeah. Um, like I said, if you like this type of stuff, support it. If you don't like it, don't play it. It's like, but at the same time, don't completely crucify a game. It's not like it's, Sea of Thieves. A game that was supposed to be out for years now, and it's been in development hell, and it's never going to get released on the Xbox. And by the time it gets released, no one's going to care. No one's going to care. We have GoldenEye coming back out for the Switch and the Xbox because Rare owns the IP. GoldenEye from GoldenEye 64 is going to come out before Sea of Thieves. That's crazy. But anyway, I give this game, I would say like, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. 6.5 offline. And yes, the game does have a campaign mode. I do upload the campaign mode on my channel. So if you guys look up Marvel Avengers dash playthrough, you'll see that all my playthrough videos are only campaign videos. And I'm just doing this game talk right now because I feel like maybe, I don't know how many reviews are out there from other YouTubers or other so-called journalists on their channel, using their channel as a voice. But as a person that grew up loving and reading comic books as young as I can remember, like maybe we're talking about maybe preschool, kindergarten, reading comic books, growing up in New York City, in Manhattan. I was born in Manhattan, New York, and just reading, like, man, when you grow up in New York, you just get exposed to so much, like, pop culture. It's insane. It's almost like the whole thing, same with Neo, getting basically uploaded with all that information. He's like, I know Kung Fu. And it's like, I know Spider-Man. It's crazy. And yes, Spider-Man was one of those first superheroes that a lot of people get intrigued when they first get into Marvel Comics. A lot of people could relate to Spider-Man because of his high school, him being in high school, and he's not the traditional superhero like Superman is. But yeah, Superman and DC and Spider-Man, definitely from those opposite end of the comic books. And then I would say more when I really got deeper into comic books, like we're talking about like Alice in Wonderland and going through the rabbit hole and never coming back. Obviously, Batman for DC and Wolverine and the X-Men. Anything with Wolverine and the X-Men kept me interested in Marvel. And then obviously, you had things like, the Avengers and Fantastic Four. All that stuff was like, hey, it's all good and everything. Ghost Rider, Hulk, I love it. But the X-Men is what really kept me going. And, the Avengers was like number two for me in terms of um, everything that's going on with Marvel. And then obviously, like I said, Superman was like the first thing I cared about in DC because the way that Christopher Reeve carried himself in DC was amazing. And then obviously Michael Keaton with Batman. With DC, I love Batman and never went back. And it wasn't until later on when you had the Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy era of them doing the Justice League on cartoons. And of course, I love the Super Friends. I love watching Super Friends back in the day, especially on Cartoon Network. I started giving a little bit more respect to Justice League, and just me getting into comic books. Unfortunately, also, there's not going to be either further support for even Guardians of the Galaxy. I haven't started playing that game yet, but I heard that the same developers did Guardians also, and for whatever reason, Guardians of the Galaxy are not getting any support either. But I heard, that's a totally different game from what a lot of people told me. You just play as Peter Quill, Star Lord, and then you just direct your Guardians to do whatever. You tell them, like, hey, take out that enemy, or cover. So, from what I understand, it's more like Star Wars Republic Commando, where you take charge of one of the commandos, that you tell your commandos what to do in that game. The Omega Squad or Delta Squad? Um, Whoever could correct me in the comment section below, as I get confused because getting into the Bad Batch, and I love Star Wars. I love all the Stormtroopers, Clone Troopers, Delta Squad, Omega Squad. Doesn't matter. 501st, the goats. But that's all I got. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and keep on gaming. And yeah, just if there are certain games that look like they're decent, good, and they have the potential to be greater than what it is, support it. But don't totally ruin and crucify a game because you jump on the bandwagon with other people being negative Nancy's about a game. Now I'm worried about Forspoken because I want that game to succeed. I'm going to play the shit out of that game too when that game comes out. And for me, I feel like it's another game that's going to be up there in the PlayStation 5 library that has potential to do good things. And, the game, if it's successful, it could get a sequel. But a lot of people can't let go of these other games, especially like games like Uncharted. They had an article about Uncharted not getting any further games, and then also they even talked about how with The Last of Us, a third game might not even be possible because of the shit show that's been happening with Naughty Dog on the way Last of Us 2 came to light. But anyway, support this channel if you haven't already. If you're already here, just might as well like and subscribe because I ain't going nowhere, and that's just the way it is, man. It's like I love gaming, love comic books, and regardless of what's gonna happen to this game, years later, hopefully there's another Marvel Ultimate Alliance going on, or another variation of Avengers and X-Men. I would like to see that. I'll actually be more. I'll actually be more curious to see the developers for this to do an X-Men game since we already had a Guardians game. I can only imagine how interesting the X-Men game would have been, especially using Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Nightcrawlers, teleport. Man, I swear, man, you got you negative guys out there be ruining everything for real. All right, peace.